What's up everyone, my name's PlatinumHowler, coach of your Delta Gligars. Today I'm bringing you the week 3 match of the BBR. We're going up against the Commissioner, MidPokeMaster, and his Kentucky Torracats. You can see his team over on the right side of the screen. Mid, as I said, the Commissioner and the leader of the Breedjects PGP squad back in the day. So for the second week in a row, no matter what the result of this game, it'll be a W for the original Breedjects. We have not yet played mid in a Generation 8 battle of any kind, but we did battle him twice before in the previous seasons of IBL. We were able to win both times. This one though, this is definitely going to be a dicey matchup. He has a lot of big threats on his team. And I honestly did not make much time to prepare for this game whatsoever. In fact, basically all of my sets are suggestions from my front office. Pretty much just one specific person in the front office, and that is Gage. He's a huge help in posting sets that he wants to see work out, or he thinks that might work out, wants me to try, you know, that kind of thing. So these are pretty much all sets with a few minor changes that he posted. He just posts move sets and items, and then I work on the EVs, but most of the EVs are pretty standard, nothing too crazy with the EVs. So bringing new stuff. Okay, we got to try out some new stuff here. We got Trevenant making its debut on the team. Trevenant's offensive matchup is really nice here. His main bulky wall is going to be that Vaporeon. So obviously being a grass type, we match up well against that thing. We can Horn Leech it for tons of damage while keeping ourselves healthy. If we can get a Trick Room set up, we're going to be outspeeding pretty much everything on his team. I don't think there's anything that he can bring that will outslow Trevenant and Trick Room outside of Gigalith. Yeah, Gigalith is there, but I don't think Gigalith is a guaranteed bring against me. I actually don't think he's going to bring Sand Rush Excadrill. I think he's going to be Mold Breaker so that he can hit my Rotom-Wash. There's still a chance that Gigalith could come to be a Volcarona check, but it doesn't necessarily have to bring Sandstream as its ability. Rock Slide is here because it hits the Scolipede super effectively, but mostly the Noctowl. I guess the Noctowl resists Trevenant's dual stabs. And then we have the issue of Miltank, where Miltank actually straight up walls this Trevenant set, if it's Sapsiper at least, which presumably it would be that if it comes. I mean, Miltank could also be Thick Fat to be sort of a check to Volcarona, but I would think that if Miltank comes, it would be Sapsiper just to wall this Trevenant here. So in order for this Trevenant to put in work, we're basically going to have to make sure that that Miltank is out of the way before we send it in. We finally get to try out the awesome new move, Poltergeist. It's going to put in a lot of work, do a lot of damage to most stuff on his team, mainly the Necrozma. We'll have to see whether or not the Necrozma has some sort of item that it could possibly consume or get rid of before our Trevenant is able to come in against him. Like if he's Colbur Berry for our Pangoro, and we get rid of, like if we knock off his item with Pangoro, then we're gonna have to be extra careful about that because Poltergeist won't work against the Necrozma. So yeah, but either way, we're gonna run Poltergeist because it's a really awesome move. So next, Alakazam. We'll just run max speed Timid to make sure that we outspeed his Whimsicott. And we got Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, you know, pretty standard moveset. Psyshock, I think, is the better choice for Psychic Stab here because it hits Vaporeon harder, it hits Noctowl harder, it hits Hitmonchan harder, and it doesn't hit Scolipede harder, but it's super effective on Scolipede, so it should knock it out no matter what. So I actually thought about running Trick Room on this Alakazam too, so that if he brought Scarf Drill or if he brought in the Scolipede to, you know, click Protect and get a speed boost, then I could actually click Trick Room and be able to outspeed both of those things, and potentially I could bring in the Trevenant in the back afterwards and be able to underspeed and hit everything really hard. But we just went with Nasty Plot here because he can boost up in front of his walls and be able to break through them that way. So that's what we're going to rock with here. Rotom-Wash is choice specs. I think this is going to catch him off guard, in all honesty. He has Whimsicott for this thing. Whimsicott is a pretty good check to stuff like the Rotom-Wash and stuff like the Pangoro as well, so I definitely expect that to come. But if we can get big chunks of damage, like more damage off against that thing than he would be expecting, then I think we'll be able to deal with it a little easier. We got Trick on here. I honestly don't anticipate myself clicking Trick. I like the idea of Specs Rotom a lot. I think he can do a ton of damage to his team. I really don't think that he hard switches an Excadrill into this, but if he does, then yikes. If he does, then yikes, pretty much, because we're going to have to pick something to switch in that doesn't want to take an Earthquake. So this Pangoro, I think Pangoro is a good matchup here. It's pretty much an essential bring when going up against a Necrozma. Like I said, we'll have to be careful about clicking knockoff, because that means that things won't be able to take damage from Poltergeist. I think if we can get a substitute up on a predicted switch out, then we can be in a good position to hit a lot of things. It's possible that he brings Infiltrator Whimsicott to be able to hit through our substitute and KO us with a Moonblast. If he does that, then hats off to him. That's a really, really good prep. But if he brings the standard like Prankster set, then he won't actually be able to encore us into substitute because we are a dark type and we're immune to Prankster priority. So in that case, we can just hit him with Poison Jab and annihilate that thing. We're running Muscle Band just for sort of, I don't know, just because just something that I felt like running. It's not an item that you see all that often, and I think that just that extra little bit of damage could potentially help us pick up a KO on his Vaporeon with a couple of close combats. So we actually put enough speed on this to outspeed a non-invested Noctowl, which I hope will help us outspeed a Vaporeon, mainly because I'm expecting Vaporeon more so than Noctowl. Not necessarily Noctowl isn't going to come at all, but if it comes with no speed, then we can outspeed it with Pangoro. And probably Oko it. No, probably not, but do a ton of damage to it at least. Next up is going to be our Sand Slash. We are Rindoberry on the Sand Slash to try to survive a hit from the Whimsicott and get a Poison Jab off against it. Although surprisingly, this Poison Jab doesn't really even do that much damage to it. If it's if it's no bulk, which it's not going to be no bulk if it comes. If it comes, it's going to be at least max HP, maybe even max defense as well, in which case Poison Jab is not OHKOing it. But we can definitely get some decent damage off against it, no matter what. So Rapid Spin, I felt like Rapid Spin was necessary to spin away Toxic Spikes that a Scolipede might want to set. I have my Dragalge to soak those up, but personally I feel like Dragalge's matchup here is horrible, so I didn't want to bring it. So we have Rapid Spin, Sand Slash, and we can also take hits from the Sand Core if he does decide to bring that. And his switch-ins to Earthquake besides the Whimsicott aren't that great. So if we can maybe even catch that thing on an incoming switch, that would be really nice for us. We can also get Stealth Rocks up, pressure that Whimsicott to defog if that's what his defogger is going to be, and then maybe we can stay in and KO him with a couple of Poison Jabs. We are Sand Rush instead of Sand Veil. Those are our only two options. So either way, if he brings Sand with the Gigalith, we're going to, we would benefit with our ability on Sand Slash. I don't know how much Sand Rush is going to come into play. It could work out that we actually outspeed his Whimsicott if he has Sand up and he switches that thing in against us. In which case, dealing with that thing would be a lot easier for sure. Last but not least, we have our Volcarona here. Heavy duty boots, because why not? I couldn't really think of a better item to put on it, so I felt like it was necessary to have Volcarona just to make sure that we have as many things as possible to hit the Necrozma for a good chunk of damage, because that thing is very difficult to wear down. In fact, just because this team that I'm bringing is so offensive, if that Necrozma gets set up, it's probably going to be pretty difficult for us to deal with, in all honesty. But we have Bug Buzz here, and if we get ourselves down to below 1/3 health, then we're going to get a 1.5 times boost in our Bug Buzz damage output, which could make a huge difference in whether or not we pick up a KO against this Necrozma. We guarantee outspeed, Jolly Max Speed, Excadrill. If he brings like a banded set, then we can outspeed the Excadrill with our Volcarona and hit it with super effective Fiery Dance. We also have Sunny Day and Solar Beam, which is a pretty fun option that we've got here. So if he does bring Gigalith to check the Volcarona, as he switches it in, we can go for a Sunny Day and change the weather to Sun, which means we can hit whatever with a super effective Solar Beam and get as much damage off against that thing as possible. I don't think that Solar Beam is going to knock it out regardless, but if it's been chipped by Stealth Rocks a few times, then maybe it's very possible that we could knock the thing out and be in a good position to deal tons of damage to the rest of his team. This is also a pretty good switch into the Whimsicott, so we can just get this thing in and then get damage off against anything that he's got. So I feel like the Volcarona is pretty expendable in this matchup for the most part. I feel like even if I don't catch the Gigalith on a switch in and click Sunny Day, I can still click Sunny Day on the following turn, expecting him to not want to go for a rock move, because I do have my Pangoro and my Sand Slash both to switch in to get. I have quite a few options to switch into Gigalith, so I don't think he would go for a rock move in front of my Volcarona right away, especially if I'm not set up. So if he switches in on a Bug Buzz, for example, or if he switches in on a Fiery Dance and I get my special attack boost, and then set up the Sun and go for a Solar Beam, he's gonna be in quite a bit of trouble. So that is gonna be our team this week. It's a pretty rushed team, kind of just thrown together. I had somewhat of a busy week, a lot of things on my mind, so I didn't really end up putting as much time into this build as I would have liked. But like I said, either way, Breedject member is going to get a win out of this battle, so that is a positive for me. It's still very early in the season. We can afford to take a loss or two. As it happens, through 2 weeks of the season, we are actually in first place in the league. Like I said, very, very early, so things can change very fast. But yeah, if you enjoyed this team builder, make sure you leave a like on the video down below, comment, let me know what you think of the team and some of the sets that we got on deck this week. And of course, subscribe to the channel, keep up with all of our Draft League content, and make sure that you don't miss the battle coming your way tomorrow. Until then, we will see you later.